So I'm in the middle of getting the rest of the stuff right. Just gotta finish up. No notes. I don't need any notes. I gotta see if I need any pictures, and then I gotta see exactly what history I'm gonna use for each part of it, because it would be uh, impractical to try to use, every piece of world history that was going on at that time. Um, but if I use specific world histories that maybe ones that are like conflicting with the word, so that way I can try to show people the division and the time frame and the understanding and the mindset. All this 30, 40,000 years ago stuff, let me just be honest with you, 100% honest with you. If that be the case, you would be talking way before Adam and way before Eve. But the timeline and the denotion where which is given to us within the Hebrew Bible doesn't denote such factors. So that would be um, wishful thinking at best. I had another word I wanted to use, but I feel it's slanderous or insulting, you know, to one's intelligent factor. And I don't want to question the integrity of your mind. So I'll assume that you assume that the earth could only be anywhere from roughly 8 to maybe 12,000 years old, give or take a couple years. I'll assume which therein that people who come from histories like the Mayan or the Aztecan or the Incan or any of those type of cultures or of the sons of Japhet who were spread out when the earth was divided and when all the people were dispersed by the Father, right on when He scattered them abroad upon the face of all the earth, right? So I don't know. Yeah, when He scattered them over the face of all the earth. That's right. When the earth was divided. That's right. You got to put it all together. Anyhow, don't worry about the verses. Don't worry about all that. I got you. I got you. What you got to know is that if you don't respect the fact that the term Hebrew is not what we have been told it to be, this whole thing is going to go over your head right now. So I have to come with you. I have to come at you with it how I know it needs to be brought. Number one, Hebrew. We were told as a language or as a people or blah, blah, blah. Fall back. Nay. Nay. I argue against that all the way. The term Hebrew could have only been a derogative term. Right. Abraham was the first man to keep the term Hebrew and make it mean something good. Whether or not it had another denotion before this or whatever, you got to understand there's no way that it was called Hebrew. We don't know that. We don't know what language Adam and Noah and them spoke. We don't know that to be Hebrew. Right on. What I do understand is that Abraham at some point, this is also written within what they call extra biblical narrative or scripture. In the book of Enoch, he's taught at some point in one of these volumes by the angels the language of old, which this would have been the language that his children then spoke. I'm not going to get carried away into all that within this series, but I will poke at that so that way you understand that the denotion of what they're calling Hebrew and what it is, they're totally different things. The Chaldean people had a word for people that they considered traitors. They made that term and the term of holy speak synonymous. They're not synonymous. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Hebrew might not actually be a language. Hebrew might be a derogative term for a traitor or a sellout of the nature. You do realize when Abraham was walking around that they were fighting big giant mother suckers and all that, right? People who could cast spells at you, throw fireballs at you, throw lightning at you. This is for real. This is where you think these videos games come from, huh? Why do you think they all have the same? Why do you think they have to go back to that time to do that, where it looks all medieval, older castles, this, that, and the other, bows and arrows, swords and shields? Why do you think they do that? Right, because that's what they were doing. And there's giants and all kinds of things. And there's always these simple narratives that they have to keep consistent with. Where do you think they got those stories from? Huh? The medieval days? Where do you think that shit seeds from? That's what I'm trying to do for you, is show you that the history that you've been told, what you know to be true, what you know to be a fact, might not be so much a fact as it is it's a condition. The word Hebrew is a condition. That's not the fact. The fact is, Abraham spoke another tongue, spoke a whole other language outside of the birth language that he knew. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Where he learned it, I don't know. That's why it's called the Hebrew tongue. See, I got into a verbal altercation with the guy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call him out by name, but he tried to tell me a while ago that the Jewish language and the Hebrew tongue are not the same, and I'm like, hey, look, I don't care, because when they say the term Jewish, right on, I already know that the people that are being spoke on are people that are watered down. You don't have to tell me nothing, bro. So this is a consortium of languages being mixed together. Right? Yes, it is. You can't tell me it's not. This is why they were able to pass down certain understanding of the old ancient language all the way until today. This is why these same things are corrupted. Because these people who didn't have understanding or didn't know what it meant, because they weren't those people, thank you very much, couldn't properly disseminate the stuff. Anyway, man, I'm not going to get too carried away with all that. I just want y'all to know that when I show you 8,000 BC, right, in our time, for the Hebrew people, the Chaldean people, right on, that's what you are. Just in case you didn't know, you're Chaldeans. What else could you be? Riddle me that, Batman and Batwoman. What else could you be? You have to still be something. Abram, your ancestor, came from the land of the Chaldees. He was Chaldean. His brother, his father, his wife, who was his sister, not through the same mother though, right? So y'all don't even understand the whole basis of the rules and the Man, I got the TNT, all that shit ready. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. I'm about to come with it and explode to pieces garbage ass theories, garbage ass notions, nonsensical talk. If you don't open up that word and read it and discern what you are reading, I don't want to hear a person. Don't put nothing crazy in this comment section. Don't put nothing crazy in this comment section. I'm talking about. I don't care about this video. I'm talking about when I start pumping these out, because they're coming. And I just had to let y'all know that I'm right there on the verge, and I realized I couldn't just do one. I have to do several of these things. So they're gonna be long. It's gonna take me a minute to be pumping them out, but I'd like to do 2 per month, maybe 3 per month. Where I get like a week and a half to really put together a good video. I'm working these games, so on my downtime, I've already decided that I'm not gonna be you know, too much entertaining myself a whole lot like I not a whole lot like I normally would. Just on my downtime, I'm kicking it like anybody else, you know. So now I'm gonna take that time that I normally would take as downtime, and now I'm gonna study more with that time, and I'm gonna actually use that to put together these little videos because I think I have most of the pictures I need. I just need to rework them, put them together right, do the little effects, blah blah blah, and knock it all down. I'm not trying to seem like I'm angry. I'm just like, man, I don't want to hear nothing crazy. I really don't. I don't want to hear nothing crazy, man. I'm a lot of reading, a lot of research. See, one jackass said, "Study to show thyself approved," but a wise man said, "Much study is weariness of the flesh." So who do y'all think I'm about to listen to? The babbler or the wise man? Right. And I know I talk a lot, but I promise you I'm not babbling about nothing. There's so much I could say in an instance, but then I would have to be able to prove it and stand on something. And I just don't have the patience all the time to constantly do that. Not that I don't have the patience to deal with my people. I just don't have the patience to deal with some of the foolery that my people like to do. You know, our people, for those of us who are us. And for those that are the stranger, the sojourner, the strange child, whatever, whatever. Because we're all a little mixed up. Once again, I can't say it enough. We're all a little bit of a mutt. All of us, you know. Seed of the serpent, hairless people. You don't have any kind of facial hair constitution, or very little facial hair constitution. Conversation that me and my brother had, a minute ago. He know who I'm talking about. You know, Mr. Wickham, Mr. Andre Wickham. Many conversations we done had about that, and that's one of them, and I love it. I love it. Y'all my people, but the seed of the serpent, well, once again, being presumptuous, it's a woman, not a man, and this woman was a whore, and this woman allowed many different fallen ones to give her many different children, and by de facto or by default, uh, I guess some of the children took on or allowed themselves to become disguised, cloaked within the creatures of this planet, which is why they even have facial hair constitution because they were able to steal features from other animals. And I'll explain that too when I explain corrupted flesh. That's probably going to take the longest part. That's going to be like a 15-minute segment to explain the corrupted flesh. And I'm going to have many different things analyzed and why I believe they look this way and why they look like that and this, that, and the other. Anyhow, um, and this whore, this thing, this this serpent, it was cursed to eat the dirt forever. Now I want y'all to understand another thing before I end it out. And I know this is gonna f your heads up just a little bit. Talk to a brother about this, while I bounce around and think about it, cause yeah, it made me, it messed my head up when I thought about it. If you read the Septuagint, the Most High tells Noah when they get off the boat after Noah makes his sacrifice, Noah, of the clean animals, mind you, that was a sweet savor, if I want to say, right, to the Most High. It was a good smell. Obviously, it smelled good. He's like, oh, is that chicken? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Most High knows what smells good, what tastes good. But he's like, look, Don't eat none of that. Because if you kill it, you're going to be responsible for it. So he was like, but what you can do is you can eat all the reptiles. Don't kill nobody. Listen, this is another part within that. Don't kill your brother. Right on. Now listen. Then he turns right around and says, don't kill any man. Because if because if you do, then it'll be your blood that's shed, and not his. I want you to understand this. Why would he tell you not to kill your brother, then turn around and tell you not to kill a man? It doesn't make sense unless there's somebody else here with you. Still, anyhow, all the all the flesh that was on dry land. Key word, dry land. This is in the King James version. Died. It doesn't say that in the Septuagint. It's not that descriptive. It doesn't have to be. I understand. I get it. The people who wrote the King James Version had more information when they wrote it, so they decided within the discernment to forego or to omit certain information. That's it. In the Septuagint, I see that the Greeks are so amped up about praising Zeus that they name a couple of the characters who aren't the Jesus that you know him to be, and I know him to be, right on, which is the little white dude, blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever, you know, right? Zeus. They throw him out there a couple times in the Septuagint. You know what I'm talking about? So with that said, and then they do other things, like you feel like certain stuff is omitted, but I feel like they just might not have known. The Septuagint is much older than the King James version, so because they were so much closer to the events, I feel like certain events are better documented or better worded in the detail, but I also feel like they could be skewed to once again protect the identities of those that don't want to be exposed. With that said, why would the Most High tell Noé that he could eat reptiles and nothing else? And with that said, what seed do you think it was who told the seed of Noé, who was Semham, to fatten their children? Who would have had one distinct look no matter what, because they all come from one man, so they could only look so different no matter what. So before Ham's children convoluted the bloodline, right on, who told who told Nebrod it was a good idea to become a giant? Think about that. And who told Ham it was a good idea to see his father's nakedness? Think about that. Have a good one, y'all.